Hi there, welcome back to my shop. Now, unless you are someone who would watch a YouTube video without knowing what it's about, I'm sure you know what is in this large cardboard box. When xTool approached me and asked if I would like to review their laser engraver, I thought, well, yeah, what have I got to lose? I've read some of the reviews on it already, and it sounds like it's a great machine. And so now that it's arrived, it's time to take it out of this big box and just see what is in there. So let's start by cutting this tape. Whoa. Securely taped. All right, there's a number of boxes in here. Now this appears to be the largest one. Let's see if I can lift this out of here. The D1 Pro Golden Red. All right, great name, sounds good already. And spacer blocks. These will be to raise it up off of its platform if you need to put something a little higher underneath it. An air assist set. That's something very handy. When engraving something or doing some cutting, if you have an air assist on, it blows air across your burn, takes away the char, and helps keep it clean. And the Rotary Attachment 2 Pro, the RA2. Wow, I think this one might need a video all on its own just to explain what it's about. All right, so now let's see about opening these boxes up. As I had said, I believe this rotary attachment is going to need a video of its own, or this particular video is going to get real long. Also, if I'm going to be using that is when I will need these spacer blocks. So I will set those aside for now as well. And today I will concentrate on the machine itself, the engraver, and the air assist. So the first thing I want to do is get the engraver out of this box. Not quite sure where to do that. Oh yeah, a lot of tape to cut. I've got to get a knife. Now, luckily that was close. Let me see here. I want to make sure I don't open it and have it all fall out of there. Not sure exactly what's in these, or to be honest, even how to open them. There we go. All right, some documentation of some kind. I can get to that later. Okay, this looks like a bunch of samples of different things to engrave. That is probably aluminum. coated with blue paint, or maybe that's just the plastic on here. Let's see. Yeah, that's just the plastic. So we'll see what we can do with that. Piece of cork there, and a number of other things to discover as we go along. Okay. Now, oh yes, it is a pretty red. Okay, now I am not going to do a complete unboxing of this or show how to put it together. There are a lot of videos on YouTube on how to do that, and I've looked at a few. The one I thought was the best is the one that's on the xTool site itself. So I will certainly put a link to that in the description box down below this video so you can check it out. Okay, a lot of the things I believe that I'm going to use to assemble this. Yes. And I'm assuming that this contains a set of safety glasses. You always want to wear the proper glasses for this, or that light can destroy your eyes, or if nothing else, really ruin your vision. And yes, they are. Now, the question I always have is, will they fit over my eyeglasses? Well, not really. If I didn't wear glasses, they'd be just fine. But to wear over my eyeglasses, oh, well, there you go. I was thinking I needed longer arms on these. Ah, that's going to work just fine. Great. Okay, so that much is ready to go. Now this is going to be the laser module. Well, everything is really nicely packed here. Yes, that is the module. So I'm going to assemble this and then I'll be back. Well, that didn't take as long as I thought it might. This went together real well, and I was following the instructions on that video from xTool. It made a lot of difference, believe me. So I am definitely going to put that link in the description box for anyone else who wants to try putting this together. And now that it's together, I can't wait to start engraving and cutting a few things. Well, I might as well confess, I don't want to ruin your illusions that I'm some kind of brainchild here. Nor do I want you to think that I'm just a pretty face. But the truth is, the last engraver I used, its origin, its X and Y origin, was down here on the front left. And of course you count from there up here. This one is here on the rear left. So I've got to get used to counting from here down. And it's going to give my tiny mind quite a headache, I'm sure. One more thing to get over. Well, I hope you'll stick around. I'm going to go find some plywood and some other things to engrave, and I will be right back. Now, to get pretty much anything these days running, you need software, and that includes engravers. Now, xTool has developed their own software called xTool Creative Space, and it's a great beginner software, and you have to download this even if you want to use the other software that's available for this, which is called Lightburn. Now, one of the big differences is Creative Space is free, it comes with the tool. Lightburn, you have to pay for it. I believe it's about $60 US at the moment. Now, I use Lightburn. I like it a lot, and it does a lot more than Creative Space will do. But Creative Space is a great tool to start with, and I want to give you just a little bit of a look at how it works. As I said, you need to have it on your computer even if you're not using it, because you need to set up some of the different parameters for the tool, and then Lightburn can use those parameters. So let's take a real quick brief look at Creative Space. Now what you see on the screen is the xTool Creative Space software. This is the grid. If you want to move in or out, you can use these plus and minus arrows. And if you want to go back to the full grid, you can just click between them. It shows you the whole thing. Alright, now if you want to insert something in here, for instance, if you want to put in a circle, you can just draw it in there. If you hit the shift key, it's going to do a perfect circle. Or if you want to put in a shape, let's choose this gear and put this in. And then you can position it wherever you want. I'm going to position it at 200 horizontally and 200 millimeters vertically. As soon as I learn how to type the numbers. Alright, now the top left is where that 200 by 200 is. You can also change the shape, or sorry, the size here. We'll change that to 10. And because I've got it locked, it changed them both. Now we'll just zoom in on that. And we can choose, once we select it, the score, the engrave, and the cut numbers as far as the power and the speed. For score, I'm going to set this to 15% and a speed of 10 millimeters per second. Because I'm used to working in millimeters per minute, I know that if I multiply that 10 by 60, I have 600 millimeters per minute. To engrave, I'm going to set the power to 50% and the speed I'll leave at that 80. To cut, I want to use 100% power, and I want to use a speed of 4 millimeters per second. Now I'm not going to be using the air assist because it makes too much noise here, but I am using the smoke absorber, and I apologize if that makes a lot of noise, but unfortunately if I don't, my shop is going to fill with smoke. Alright, now to score, I will hit the process, and this lets me set the framing. To do that, I'm going to first bring the module down. When I hit framing, as the picture shows, I have to hit the button on the machine, and that will frame it. There's a red cross there, and every time I frame it, it shows where it's going to do the drawing. Hit framing completed, and hit start. Again, we have to hit that button, and it starts its process. Alright, I'll click on done. I'll choose it again, and this time I'm going to choose the engrave. Hit the process, and I'll move it over just 20 millimeters. And the engrave is going to fill between those lines that the score was using. So I'll hit framing. Again, I'll hit the button. Hit framing completed, and start. Alright, that's finished. Now I can select it again, so I can choose to cut. I'll hit process, move it over 20 millimeters again, use the framing. Each time I'm doing one of these, whatever I'm using, I use the safety glasses. So we'll hit start again, I'll put the glasses down, hit the button, and away we go. Alright, we are done. I'm going to hit the process button just so I can move the module out of the way, and we can take a look at this. I'll turn off the smoke absorber now. It makes too much noise. And you will see that there's a lot of scorching because I was not using the air assist. But that is cut right through, and there you have a nice little gear. All right, that's just a quick look at this software, and now let's go back and use Lightburn. All right, as you may know, Christmas is right around the corner, so I thought I would use this to cut a few decorations. Now I don't know if it shows up, but on the laptop I've got some decorations there. I bought these online, and I think these are going to turn out very well. I'm going to be cutting these into birch plywood, and it's 6 millimeters thick. Now, not every engraver could be trusted to cut that out, I don't believe, but let's see what this one does. I've got this in Lightburn, and I'm going to turn on the air assist to try to take away the char, and let's see what kind of damage I can do to this. So let me turn this air assist on. I'll go around and get this started. Would you like to take a guess at how impressed my wife was when the smoke alarm went off here in the garage, which is connected to the house, which is connected to the smoke alarm upstairs? No, she wasn't that impressed. Would you like to guess again? Well, I ended up having to open the garage doors a little bit, and it's Canada that I'm talking to you from, and it was 25 below zero today. So this wasn't the most pleasant burn that I'm ever going to do. However, that aside, even though I had this smoke absorber running, it wasn't absorbing the smoke as fast as this thing was putting it out. So anyway, it looks to me like this did a great job. And this was in one pass. 200 millimeters per minute, 100% power. I had the air assist on, and so I don't know why this one spot here got so charred. I'm not sure really if I can take that off, maybe wipe it down with a little water, or what's going to happen. But anyway, let me lift this up. Good grief. This plywood is 6 millimeters thick, or a 1/4 inch. So I'm amazed at how well this cut through there in one pass. Look at that. That is beyond belief, in my opinion. Mind you, I admit I don't have that much experience with these engravers yet, although I'm certainly enjoying learning how to run them. This is amazing. Wow. I really enjoyed doing this one. Now let's carry on to something else. Well, I managed to figure out why this is charred. I had forgotten until I looked at the video I shot that for about 30 seconds I had forgotten to turn on the air assist. And to show you what a huge difference that can make, in those spots, not only was it charred, but it also did not burn all the way through. So now I know, and I guess you know, the air assist is really important. Glad I found that out. All right, now I've been doing some testing on, I don't know if this is spruce, pine, or fir, but it's from a 2x4, so it's bound to be one of those. And I have found the speed and power I need to cut right through. So there you go, let's cut right through. I've done this at 250 millimeters per minute and 100% power. Now, just to prove that this is 3/4 of an inch thick, there, hopefully that overhead camera will pick this up. I'm at 0 inches there and 97 128ths. So that's 1/128th more than 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to reset the cameras, turn on the air assist and the smoke absorber, open the doors just a little bit to let the smoke go out of here. We don't want another catastrophe. And then I will get this one doing a burn and show you just what it will do. Hang in there, I'll be right back. All right, let's just see how well that worked. You may have seen the amount of smoke that was coming up through the honeycomb bed well before the 9 passes. So it might have needed a lot less than that. And you can see it's through. There's a couple of places where there's a little bit of grain probably holding it, but it comes out of there very easily. And of course, it's scorched. It's well scorched around here. But still, it works well. I'm having so much fun with this. So what else can I burn now? Well, I think that turned out all right. Although, I forgot one thing. In light burn, there's a setting you can switch on called Fast White Space Scan. And what that does is wherever it's not going to be burning, it will speed across that area and you can set the speed. So I forgot to do that. if I had set that to 5,000 millimeters per minute, this would have taken 10 minutes. Because I forgot to do it, it took 30 minutes. So if you decide to use Lightburn and haven't used it before, find that switch. It's an important one. Well, I could go on and on. There are so many different materials I could show you, cutting, engraving, or whatever. But as you probably already know, I don't like to make my videos too long. I don't have the patience to watch a long video, so why would I subject you to that? So I want to thank xTool for sending me this. I really appreciate it. It's an awesome machine. There are so many positive things about this that I won't even start to go into them. In fact, I only came up with one thing that I think is a con, and that is this cable that they have used. Occasionally, when it comes across the back here, it wants to come up and it ends up not permitting this to come back to its home position. And then I have to reposition it. I think a round cable would be better. There's plenty of room for it to come in here. Just my observation, and I'm sure others may disagree with me. But other than that, this is an awesome machine. Before I go though, there are two more things I want to show you. One, or two if you like, is this here. Now I carved this out of 3mm plywood, and I didn't design this. This was designed by the Louisiana hobby guy, and he did a great job. The idea of this is that a child or the child's parent can write a note to Santa Claus telling him what they want for Christmas. They drop it in the pouch here, hang it from their fireplace mantle, or put it under the tree, or wherever they want, and then Santa Claus's elves will show up in the middle of the night before Christmas, take that list and give it to Santa Claus. Now how well that works, I don't know. We didn't have this when I was a kid. The other thing I want to show you, I made these. This is a beautiful machine, but it moves around fairly easily. I bump things a lot, so I made two of these, and I put one under the leg here, and maybe you can see one is under the leg here. Screwed them down to my top here, and it keeps it from moving around. Then I just put a couple of pieces of wood on each side here, another one in the back to keep the honeycomb bed from moving around, and it's always zeroed where I want it to be. So, a couple of helpful things, I hope. So I want to thank you very much for showing up here today. I appreciate you taking the time. And if you liked what you saw, I hope you'll click that thumbs up button and let me know I'm doing something right. Share this with others if you have a friend who might want to see this. And leave a comment if you like. I love getting the comments. I read them all and I reply to them all. So thank you again for showing up today. I hope you'll come back next time. Between now and then, have a great day in your shop and be safe. Bye-bye now.